Welcome back to the Betty. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson. I'm here with some friends, and we're talking about a somewhat sensitive subject, but a fun one too. But before we go to our subject, let's go around and introduce ourselves to my viewers. Let's start with you.
I am Janella Walker.
Okay.
I'm Wanda.
Uh-huh.
I'm Amy Wallace.
And Amy. Okay. Thanks for joining me tonight. Now, a couple of weeks ago, you guys were on here when we were talking about a serious subject about divorce and how you handle it with your kids. But let's have some fun now. We got our little wine going. We out here sitting outside in the sun, and it's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So, let's talk about dating after divorce. So, how many of you have a boyfriend at this table? I can't raise my hand. Oh, you have many friends.
I have a friend, yes.
Oh, you have a friend.
A friend,
A
yes.
friend.
Yes.
Wanda,
No, I'm single.
right now,
Single.
single. And
Single.
come on now.
Well, I was dating, was engaged, and then I broke it off a couple years
Okay.
ago.
Okay. You, Amy, no? Nothing? Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you get past the hurt of the divorce and the pain of the divorce to step your foot back out there to start dating again?
And dating now is so different
Ah,
than it
yeah.
used to be. It's kind
Brutal.
of scary.
It's
Yes.
brutal.
It's brutal?
It's brutal.
Yes.
It's different.
And the guys I think are crazier.
So how is it different?
The chivalry is different. There's none.
There
I
are
shouldn't say
few.
none.
There are
I should
few.
take it back. Let me list, because I've used a dating website. And let me just back up. When my husband, ex-husband, and I got together, we met on AOL.
Oh, that was
Way before I could have created
100 years
a
ago?
and match and the whole 9 yards. We met in the chat room. I don't know if y'all remember the chat rooms.
Was that before
And so I didn't like the idea of emailing and IMing even back then. That was over 16 years ago. And so I used it as a way to just meet somebody like you meet at a club. So we met at a club. He was going there. We lived in the same area, and that's how we met. So technically, we met online. I used to be embarrassed about it, but now that's the thing to do. So I went back to it, and it's totally different now.
So how has it
Totally
changed?
different now. People don't want to talk. They want to IM, they want to text. They don't, and I'm a talker, as y'all can tell. And so when I do use it, it's a way to say, okay, visually they look okay. Let's see if they have a conversation, and right then you know whether or not you're even connected to that person. If you feel like you're connected over the phone, then you meet, and then you still may not connect, but at least it's a way to meet people. So you have to be very, how can I say, not selective, but use your smarts about it. If somebody won't get off texting or won't get off emailing, or if you see the red flags or hear something. Because we know Miss Cynthia doesn't have much tolerance for things, and so
Very little.
Yes, very little. So if there's something that you hear or they say, click on to the next one.
I'm like my sister. I have low tolerance too. I'm developing it over the years. At first, I remember when she would say things about God. I'm like, that's so mean. That's when I was younger. But now I'm like, I understand because
You don't have to accept that.
yeah.
I think the biggest thing too, though, let me just go back to it. I don't look at it as a person to get married. I ain't ready to try to do that. If we can go to a football game together, because I love sports. If we can do, it starts there. If we can't, we don't have anything in common. We're done. And that's I think we as women have to do. Don't look at it as marriage material. Because I don't know if I'm marriage material. Having been married, I may not be a good mate, but I can be a good friend and just leave it there.
So Amy, how do you meet men? That's kind of the question, huh?
in your 20s and 30s, you go out to a bar, you go to clubs, go out with your friends and stuff. But everybody was single, so everybody's going out to clubs and bars to meet people. Well, when you're in your 40s, you don't, or at least for me, I don't want to meet a man who's hanging out at a bar to meet a woman. That's not what I'm looking for. So I'm just not looking for it. And it changes too when you do have children because they still remain your priority.
Yes.
So I mean your time is limited. On all kinds of levels. Your time, emotional availability too. So it just kind of changes your availability really. So priorities.
Plus, I'm very selective about who I'll let meet my children. So,
Well,
the world is interesting now.
yeah.
I'd rather almost be single than to put my children in danger.
So after your divorce, how long did it take you to go out on that first date?
The day that my divorce decree was signed, the girls we went out and hung out. But I didn't go like on a date, but I went out with my girls and we all had a wonderful time celebrating the divorce.
And you met somebody that
I
night?
think I did. But
Oh my God.
So I was just like, okay, I got a number. Ooh, yay. Talked to him a couple times and it was like, I'm not really trying to talk to nobody right now.
You like, I still got it, huh? So, Amy, how long did it take you to start back dating?
Well, probably the week after my divorce was final, but maybe it worked out. But ironically, we are still very good friends, and he actually was he was divorced too. He'd been divorced 7 years at that time, so he kind of ended up being more of a mentor. So he was kind of turned into a counselor, really, and it was very healthy for me.
So, Janelle, how long did it take you the next day?
Well, we were separated for 2 years. I mean, and I had kind of been planning when I was going to date. I just didn't want to do it until we were divorced. So we were apart for a while.
Okay.
So, in that time, I was trying to get myself together, get over the dealing with my kids and getting them through it. So probably right after the decree, within months. But again, we were separated.
Yeah.
So, you got to count that time. So maybe within a month or two, let me see how I get back out there just to see if I still had it.
And you still got it. With that, we're going to take a break. We're going to come right back. Okay.
I wouldn't have been at this ceremony if I hadn't been at this ceremony first. Unfortunately, nearly 30% of U.S. high school students aren't making it to graduation. And every one of us, every parent, every friend, and neighbor, has the responsibility to provide the support and encouragement they need to make it through. Because we all need to see a lot more of these pictures.
Hi, welcome back to Betty. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson. I'm here with some friends, and we're talking about dating after divorce. Now, when you started back dating, sounds like it was just a couple of hours after you signed your name on the dotted line. What did you tell your kids? How did you tell your kids?
She was young, so she didn't know.
So you got off easy.
I did, but yeah, when the youngest one appeared, the oldest one was kind of like, where did she come from? Because I didn't really let her see me date the youngest one's father. So she saw him maybe a couple times, but she never really saw us.
She didn't put two and two together.
Yeah, so. Yeah. But then she's only seen me date, I think, maybe one person. Like, the two of my children have only seen me really, truly dating someone that I let meet them and was interactive with them. That was the gentleman I was going to marry a few years back, but I was like, nah, that didn't work out.
You're looking at me.
Yeah. What'd you tell the little ones?
Well, they had seen their dad started dating before I did. And that's what men. That's what men do. Anyway, I knew I was going to do it differently, and so what I did is I went to them. I asked them, "Who would you like? What kind of person would you like to see me date or get involved with your mom?" And so they were real honest. They were like, "Mom, we just want somebody who's going to respect you and love you and respect you and love us." So, and now, even now when I date, even when I go online, I say, "What about this guy?" They help me choose.
So it's a family activity.
Shopping for new baby daddy.
At this age, you want to kind of sort of, you want them to be involved because this person, if they come into your life and they're going to be there for a while, they're going to have an influence and an effect.
Yeah, that's true.
But with all the guys that I've dated, they've never met my kids because I don't want to be. Whenever that person who I choose to be for a long haul, that's the person I'll bring into their lives. But right now, they haven't met any of the guys that I've dated, and I'm just keep it that way until I feel comfortable enough to know that it's going to go somewhere. So,
that makes sense. You don't want a revolving door.
I want a revolving door, and I just want them to know that, because their dad kind of thrust it on them and they weren't really ready for it, I don't want that to happen to them again.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they weren't ready in their minds. They thought it was too fast.
Oh, for him to start dating.
And sure enough, he might have been dating this woman for a while. He just didn't share it with them, which, you know. But in their minds, they just thought, wait a minute, who is this person? It was new for them. I get it. And so having watched them watch him, I want it to be different for me.
What were some of the things that happened whenever they did meet their father's girlfriend?
You know, they felt like she was taking their space because before he got with her, they had their alone time. The time that we talked about in the previous segment is that they felt, oh, this is our time with Dad. Now this other person is here, and they struggle with that. And sometimes I think they still do, even though they're a little bit better about it. But I just don't want them to have to go through that with me.
Oh, okay.
And as they get older and they hear the name, the certain name over and over again, they get used to it. Like, how is he? What's he doing? And that whole thing. So,
So, Amy, what did you tell your kids? Or have you told them
Well,
or shared anything about dating with them?
No, I really don't. But they did meet. One relationship I was in, they did meet him, and but it didn't work out. It was a long-term thing, but it didn't work out, and I'm very regretful. But even though you feel like it's a safe time to do that, it's been long enough. I kind of learned my lesson. I don't want to do that. Now they had a stepmom, if you will, that was immediately in the picture. So,
sort of like Janella,
right,
the girlfriend,
right, and. While they would say they're supportive of it, whatever, they just want Dad to be happy, we want you to be happy too, I felt like I got a little resistance from my children. Like they didn't want me to get involved with somebody.
It's hard for the moms.
It is, and it's a lot harder
Exactly.
because we are the nurturers, and I think because they see that time, like you say, it's Dad's time's taken away from me already. Don't want that to do that for Mom too. So it just... I don't think they do it intentionally, but I did get the sense that they would just rather me be alone. And so to me, it's not worth the struggle with it. So, but as they get older, and now like as my boys are interested in girls now, they want to, they're starting to talk to girls, they see how that can be an important part of your life. And so now they're like, oh, Mom, you should go out with something,
Oh, they suggest
So they suggest it now, and they're like, we would love it for you to meet somebody, So they're like kind of, a little more on that opinion now.
so
So
protective of their life.
they are. That's a lot of it too. They are very protective, and they want you to get it right.
Yeah, my girls have asked why I don't date, and I'm like,
So why don't you date?
Because I'd rather protect my girls, because people are just a little crazy. And I remember one guy tried to date my oldest daughter, hated him. If I even mention his name, even now, she still hates him. It's like, But she went near him, she's like, I hate this guy. But I just don't want to put them through, if it doesn't work out, then they have to kind of be like, if I fall apart.
They lose something twice.
Yeah.
They're losing that male influence or losing your attention
And
all
that's
over
why I
again.
decided not to get married, because the person that I was dating and engaged to, he was not prioritizing his time. And I told him, I said, my children already have a male in their life they cannot depend on. I'm not going to bring a second one into the picture.
What do you mean by that?
Like, they can't depend on their dad, to be there when they need him. So if I was going to marry this guy and he's already kind of showing signs that his time prioritization is not right as far as when it comes to family, then I wasn't going to, marry him, and then it'd be kind of the same thing going on. I was like, no, that wouldn't be fair to them, and it definitely is not fair to me. So that's why I broke off the engagement.
With that, we're going to take a short break because I got my next question. We might need to take a couple of sips of wine before you hear it, and we'll be right back. Okay?
G-Morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. You up? What'd you dream about? Me? JK. Text me back. I'll keep texting till you wake up. Are your parents home later? Is this something I did? Exclamation point, question mark? This isn't a joke. Hello? Text me.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Aww. You should pick that up.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
For you.
They want to help, but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Welcome back to Better You. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson. Now, before we went on a break, I told the mothers up here that I had a serious question to ask. Now, I have told them the question, so they're kind of ready for it, but not really. They're kind of shaking. I see someone taking a sip of wine, getting
I'm
ready.
ready to go.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Now, I've made this question as clean as I could possibly make it. Okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
How do you handle the alone time or activity that adults have with someone that they care about?
So I'm gonna reframe a little bit.
A little bit.
Schedule dates.
And other activities
And
that you have
so-
with someone that you care about.
Well, my kids go to their fathers every other weekend.
Oh, so you don't have that
I don't
problem.
have that problem. So
Uh-huh.
because I don't have, and so I just schedule that time while they're away. So they don't meet who I date because we talked about that a little bit. So I have to schedule, and the person who I date, he understands that and he respects that because he's the father of a daughter and he's raising a daughter alone.
So you have your special time
yes,
when your
we
kids
plan
aren't
around
there.
that, yes,
Okay. That wasn't hard.
it wasn't hard.
Okay. Wanda, are you ready? You need a second? Amy?
Okay, so I journal.
That's not exactly what we're talking about here.
And I have an Australian Shepherd who's very high energy, so I go on very long walks.
We're not
long
exactly
walks with her.
talking about that.
Every other weekend as well.
So you like Janella?
Yes.
You can fit it in.
Yes.
You can always fit time in for a walk, yes.
You can fit it in.
Yes.
Oh, okay. You all danced around that really well. So Wanda, you seen the pros do it.
I'm single, so I don't do any alone time except read books and travel. I travel.
No, you don't.
Okay, so Cynthia, how do you spend your alone time in the comforts of people that you care about?
I'm not dating anyone right now.
Oh, okay.
So, and it's okay. I try to keep myself busy, but
She does.
I'm not a divorcee. You all are. And
But
you all
we have
kids.
the same struggles.
Yes.
Really?
As being
It's the same.
single
Go back to
at this
we were
age.
single
Yes.
before.
Yes.
I was a single, like I said, I married again late. And then I fill my time with friends. Hang out. I am blessed to have some very good friends who are very active. And so I never feel alone. I just really don't, between that and the kids, you really don't have time.
You really, and you know what? You don't think about
You
it.
just don't think about
After
it.
a while.
The days fly by and it's like, oh, it's Saturday. Whatever. And you want to rest.
And you know, I don't remember Wanda giving us an answer.
I said I read books and travel.
Yeah.
Every other weekend.
When you're by yourself.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Or with a nice friend. So tell me, do you all think that you'll ever get married again?
I won't say never. Because marriage is a wonderful thing. It's a great partnership with the right person at the right time. So I mean, I'm open to it. I used to say I'm never, ever, 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 but it's a wonderful thing.
Somebody had a song like that.
Yeah, never say never. Yeah, but I think marriage is a wonderful thing with the right person because like our grandparents were married almost 66 years, so it works and it's beautiful when it's working well. And I know that it's work involved, like it's two separate people coming together.
Right.
It's going to take some compromise, which that was the word I kind of used to get. But yes, compromise and working together and friendship and in love. So yeah, I would like to do it again. Maybe once my kids are out of the house, older, doing their own thing, and then I can have full attention to me.
They're almost there, aren't they?
I know.
Yeah.
Don't be rushing the baby girl.
So, would you ever get married again?
Oh yeah, I love being married. I love the institution. I think, like Wanda, I think I'm going to wait, make an appointment to wait because I'm a mama bear, so I don't want anybody coming into my life telling me how to raise my kids. So I would probably wait after they're out of the house and grown and gone and that, or just at least doing their own thing. But I love being married and with the right person. I think it's a great thing.
So Amy, would
I used to say I would never get married again, but now I would. I think because I'm personally in a better place, that I could be more interested in doing that. But
So
never say never.
So tell me, ladies, you all dance around that one question I had for you. And I'm just curious, like, you were married, you had a partner, someone there with you. Do you not miss that partner, that closeness, that togetherness that you had with that person?
Absolutely, yes.
You know, I look at it differently. There's a cost to that.
This is true.
So they kind of, after you've been married, it's like, yeah, it's good, but you know that there's a cost to being involved in a relationship. So it's more than just the physical. It's a lot more than that. You got to be emotionally connected. You got to be all of that. So you just kind of look at it a little differently. Of course you miss it, but you think, oh, I can find something else to do. And you figure it out. I mean that's just the reality. And so because I waited to get married, people used to try to talk me out of it. Like, you don't need to be married. Don't do it. But once you realize the work it takes and all that's involved with it, you keep it all in perspective. You just keep it in perspective.
Swanee, you don't miss that companionship, that person that's right there with you.
I used to say this all the time when I first got divorced. I miss the companionship, but not the BS.
There's a cost to that good companionship.
And with that, we're going to take a short break.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Do your part. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank today.
Welcome back to A Better You. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson. I'm here with some friends, and we're talking about dating after divorce. So we talked about the hard and tough subjects already. So this one might be just a tad easier. And I think this may be our last question because it's going to be kind of long for you all to answer. How do you explain to your kids that you're no longer with dad, but you're really serious about Mr. X, and he might be around a lot more than every now and then? How do you share with them that this is a true and growing relationship once you get to that point? Because you're not quite there yet, but you're on your way. So how are you going to tell your kids about the evolution or how your relationship has evolved?
Pretty much how you just said it. Just that this person is like, you've been dating for a while, and that you feel that this relationship is, turn into something a little bit more serious, and you wanted to discuss it. Like, that's what I did with my children, with my ex-fiance. I let them know it was going, a step further, and I just wanted to talk to them about it and see what their opinion was, see how they felt about it. And they were like, oh yeah, he's cool. You're like, yeah, okay, that's nice. And then they were okay with it. And then when I got to the point where I was thinking about marrying him, they were like, oh yay. And then I had to explain to them why I wasn't marrying him, and that was kind of weird, but
yeah,
it was all right.
So, Janelle, you're not quite there yet. You got your foot out there in the dating pool, but what are you going to tell your kids when you really find that special someone? You're like, this might be the next Mr. It.
Well, I think I told you they haven't met the person I'm dating now.
Oh, he's serious?
No, we're walking that path a little. But because I'm not ready for a marriage anytime soon, it'll probably be a while before we get to that. But hopefully they will have heard enough about him, and I will have vetted him enough, whoever he is. So by the time they do meet him, they'll feel like they know him enough, and then spend some time with him enough to be comfortable. Because I do want my kids to generally like the person I'm going to be with. Some people say you shouldn't allow for your kids to choose who spend your time with, but I think they need to generally like them. Because I know people divorce behind their kids not liking, or something happening between the new parent and that whole thing. And so I don't want that to happen. I guess I still got a little bit of rose-colored glasses on, that I want everybody to get along. So if I see that that's not going to be the path we walk together, I probably will back up on that relationship because I do value my kids' opinion. So again, hopefully they will have heard about this person enough, and we've spent some time together, and they'll be open to the next step, whatever that is. So it takes time.
It does take time.
I guess that's my point. It just takes time to walk through it, and for everybody to kind of get to know each other, and generally like each other, and hopefully love and become a family.
So, Amy?
I think I would have to schedule a
family meeting.
No, a play date at like Carowinds or Lawfield, or just coincidentally, you know, and just see how the personalities kind of can, you know, blend a little bit. And then if it was horrible, I'd be like, abort, you know. And then if it worked well, I'm like, yes, you know. But, you know, it's speculative at this point because, you know, that's the way I would do it, though.
Yeah, that's a great idea. It is a good idea.
So if you guys decide to get married again, I'm sorry, one more question. If you guys decide to get married again, would you have your kids be a part of your wedding?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
In a remote location, and we'll come back and party, and you all can come.
But absolutely, if they couldn't be a part, there wouldn't be a marriage.
Right.
I mean, like, would you have your daughter to be a bridesmaid? That's what I'm asking.
Oh, yeah.
And your son to be...
Walk me down the aisle.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, a heartbeat. Matter of fact, they would have to be a part.
Oh.
They would have to be a part.
You too, Keena? Wanda?
Yeah, I was just thinking of Keena's a judge then. Maybe she could do a wedding.
You
see how long from now that would probably be?
They make double wheelchairs.
Well, ladies, this has been so much fun, and you know, it's a touchy topic too. A lot of people don't like talking about it at all, but I'm so glad that you all were here and so open to share your thoughts and your opinions on dating after divorce. And I want to thank each and every one of you for watching my show, A Better You, here on Public Access 21 every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Oh my God, thank you, ladies.